Hello and welcome back to the back nine of round 2 of the Memorial Championships. I'm Missy Gannon.
And I'm Madison Walker.
Happy to have you join us. We want to give a big shout out to GK Pro and Discraft for bringing us this amazing FPO coverage.
And thanks to the Disc Golf Pro Tour for trying out something new, putting us in the afternoon. Hopefully we get a little bit more viewership. We love any new fans watching. Thanks for tuning in. We've got Paige Pierce in the lead right now. Jennifer Allen 1 stroke behind her, and Henna right on their coattails. We're moving into the back nine. A lot less water to deal with. A lot more birdies I think we're going to see from these ladies.
Hole 10 is a par 3, 332 feet. Another new hole on this course. It plays as more of a big turnover shot, or if you have a forehand. It's 332 feet, but it definitely plays a lot longer than that. It is uphill the entire way. You're really trying to get something to crest this hill, and then you'll be right around circle 1. Even if you turn something over and it sort of flexes out a little bit, you will find yourself on a more wide open side on the left side, and you could run a putt from that side.
It's kind of in like a little bowl, so it's it makes your putt easy if you get way down there. You can see Jen doesn't even try to really turn something over. She just throws a straight shot. Smart play. If you do turn something over, there's a tree that you can't quite see right now from the camera angle, but there's a tree that hangs out over the middle of the fairway that your disc can definitely catch if you hug a little bit too close to the inside. So it's definitely the better play to go wide or straight. Henna doesn't care about the dumb tree. She flexes something. She gets gets over the flag line, completely safe. She'll be right behind a tree, but with a look at a putt. What was that disc?
That was a rock 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
She throws that with such good control.
Yeah. Zoe going Thrasher. She it's a little bit overstable, but again, she'll be wide open on the other side with a little approach. Doesn't get the turn that she wants for sure, but she can maybe give it a little run. It's on a hill, and you sort of have a backstop, which is nice for that shot.
It's super hard to get your disc to flip when you're throwing it uphill unless it's super flippy, and you really have to trust it. Paige is pretty well.
Yeah, she corrects her mistake from yesterday. She did end up getting a double bogey yesterday, but she absolutely parks it this time.
Oh.
See, I didn't even see this, and I for some reason knew that Zoe was going to run that.
Unfortunately, rolls to circle's edge, but we know Zoe can make that putt. Jen running at it as well.
Okay, Henna looks like she has enough room to straddle out a little bit and see if she can capitalize.
Oh my gosh. Just inches too low. With a combined 3 inches, I think all 3 of those would have been in.
Right?
Little downhill, save a bogey. No biggie. Not what Zoe wants here. But it's okay. We got lots of golf left. Paige with a tap-in birdie. She's the only birdie on the day from the FPO field on this hole.
Yeah, that was her Surge SS. She threw that yesterday, and she didn't change her game plan. She knew that disc could work out.
What I'm most excited about this season is just to play. I was playing 40, 30 tournaments a year for 12 years, and then that came to a complete halt. The most important thing I've learned is just have a little bit more patience. With patience comes more success.
And throws it better today.
Hole 11 is a par 3, 368 feet, definitely well within reach of everyone on this card. The only real trouble you can get into here is down at the bottom of the hill on the left-hand side. If you throw with a little bit too much hyzer or land a little bit too fast, you can very easily skip out of bounds. There's also a bunch of trees around the basket, so it kind of creates a little bit of trouble on the putting green. You'll see some straddle putts out here, but this is definitely a birdie hole for these lead card women. Parked.
Yep. She actually changed it up a little bit, went Raptor this time, and didn't go quite as long as she did yesterday. So Jen going Jen Allen T-Bird.
That thing looks beefy. Yeah. Sails out of bounds left. Don't really have a chance to even start to lay down. Heads up, everybody, on the sidewalk. That's one thing about Fountain Hills that you're always kind of thinking about in the back of your head. There's so many pedestrians.
Well, we just saw 2 drivers. This is actually a Rock 3 from Henna. She's going more straight approach, straight at it. Unfortunately, catches that first tree, but she'll find herself just outside the circle.
Zoe just trying to regain a little bit of confidence after that last hole. Throws it lower than you want, but this green is real skippy and she can get some slide action. She'll have an uphill putt at the basket, which is exactly what you want. Jenna Pierce to just lay it up. One thing about this green that can happen as well if you play aggressively, if you hit the cage, you can easily roll downhill towards out of bounds. Cage, tree, whatever you hit. Henna doesn't really have an open lane for her signature hyzer putt, so she decides to just lay up. Paige takes another birdie. Boom. The rest of these ladies are going to clean up their pars as we move into one of the first elevated tee pads on the course. Sure, they're kind of all bumming because everyone wants to get this hole. It's one of the ones that I feel like I should be able to get every single round. But we move on to another birdie hole.
Yeah, hole 12, like Madison said, is an elevated tee as well as an elevated basket. You kind of have 3 options here. You can go this straight route that the drone is flying through. There is also sort of a mid hyzer, and then there's a wide hyzer that you can go. Interested to see what kind of shots we see from these ladies. Looks like Paige is lining up the straight shot. Actually, no, it looks like she might be going hyzer. She's throwing a zone.
Oh, yeah.
So she changes it up a little bit from yesterday, ends up going the middle hyzer route, getting some skips.
It's a little wider than she wants, but she does crest that hill that's about circle's edge on the fairway. If you don't get over that hill, it will stop your disc completely. So that's the only thing really you have to worry about. There's out of bounds on the left as well if you hyzer too hard, which is why that middle gap, the straight gap, is really scary. And you'll see most of these ladies smartly playing that right gap.
Henna also goes that hyzer route, but with a P2, a little higher, a little more controllable maybe.
That was a P2?
Yeah.
Hyzer. Wow.
Yeah, that's great.
Zoe taking the hyzer as well. Gets a big skip, but it sits down inside the circle.
Jen going with a Cayman, so I imagine she's also taking a similar route. She's going wide hyzer, so that's that other wide hyzer route.
Classic Jen Allen.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't quite get the carry to the left, but she is left with a big putt for birdie. But
running, love to see her running from outside the circle at this elevated basket. Can be a little bit scary because you know your comebacker is going to be far. Holy moly, that's a lot of action. No! Man. Starts to run it in. I thought it was in too. Zoe with a huge birdie putt.
Yeah, nice little slight nose up floater in there. It was great.
Henna with a birdie as well. Easy. Wow. P2. No prob. Take notes, people. 40% of the ladies field with a birdie on this hole. Super awesome. We love to see a hole averaging under par. We can see Zoe's fallen back a little bit, kind of struggling. And we see Rebecca Cox and Evelina Salonen just racing up the scoreboard. Also, UK AnDyke, this is her first time touring the United States. She had a really strong finish at Las Vegas and doing the same here at Fountain Hills. Hole 13 is uphill. There's a tree to contend with right off the tee. You can go low or high hyzer. The basket's elevated. It's perched up on a little berm, so it makes it seem a little bit higher. Pretty straightforward. No trouble really to get into besides this initial tree.
Henna going rock X3 up over the top.
Holy cow.
Hits the hill just right.
Parked.
Slows it down and parked.
Zoe looking at the high route as well. She loves ripping those hyzer bombs. She parks it as well, gets a little rolly action. She'll be down at the bottom side of that berm, which makes that elevated basket seem like a skyscraper.
Right.
No one's surprised. Jen taking the sky hyzer. It's a cool looking shot.
Yeah.
Nice camera angle, GK Pro.
We saw Paige go low yesterday. Let's see if she tries that again.
Yeah, I like the low skippy route, but it is daunting off the tee. It is so low. You really have to push that branch. She makes it look easy.
Yeah.
Jen deep of the basket. Oh, doesn't quite get the height on it. This actually played as the easiest hole on the course. This looks like the ladies had no problem getting around that initial tree. Oof. Over half the field with a birdie on this hole. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Big birdie putt from Paige. She's stringing them together here on the back nine.
Yeah. And we can't forget Henna dropping in easy birdie.
Absolutely parked.
Sometimes those little tap-ins don't get the love that they deserve.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
Wow,
always the big
Henna.
putts. Yeah, exactly.
Hole 14, par 3. Henna will be throwing a P2 as well on this 375-foot downhill. There's a berm in the middle of the fairway that you want to get over the top of, but you don't want to come in with a super steep hyzer angle because it will for sure skip downhill on this sloping right to left green towards out of bounds sidewalk.
You're close. It's actually a rock 3, but still, it's very impressive.
It's still so impressive. The basket's tucked up under a tree. It makes for some really fun putts.
Back.
Doesn't quite crest the berm in the middle of the fairway, but she'll have a look from circle 2.
Paige going with a Raptor.
She's just looking to play the hyzer skip route. Trust her disc to skip on top of the hill, and she is parked. She will have to mess around with this electrical box that's kind of blocking the basket, but you can straddle around fairly easily.
Zoe looking to get a full rip on a destroyer. A little high, a little hyzery. This is where it can get a little scary on this hole.
Oh. Yeah, that's the only thing you gotta watch out for on this hole. It'll be a nice and simple up and down from there, though, straight uphill.
Jen also opting for a destroyer. She's going a little wider. Get the skip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even And looks like she works her way around behind that tree, giving herself a lot more of an open putt. Zoe having to throw a backwards patent pending, but she gets up and down, no problem.
Yeah, it looks like Henna was a little blocked to get the height from that one tree limb, so she opted to lay up.
Jen forced to take a knee under those low-hanging branches, but she makes it look easy. It's funny that Paige still does her little routine, even with this weird putt. I feel like I would just kind of chuck it over.
Yeah, right? I'd probably think way too hard.
Yeah, same. And it takes her par, moves on. And we go to the longest hole on the course, I think.
I think it's close. It's one of.
Yeah, hole 15's a par 3, but this is definitely a tweener for the ladies. We might see some of these lead card ladies getting all the way down to the green. It's basically wide open, no real OB that you have to worry about. The sidewalk's out of bounds left, but it doesn't really come into play on our tee shots. The basket's kind of blocked up by some palm trees. We'll see some straddle putts, and it is a sloping green, so if it doesn't land flat, it can definitely roll downhill.
Yeah, we have some of the biggest throwers on this card all at once, so I'm thinking we're going to see some amazing distance shots.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Absolutely parked, controlled, 426 feet, no problem. We got spectators plopping down in the background, getting comfy. Jen puts a lot of turn on that disc, but she'll be inside the circle. Henna throwing a P2? Just kidding. What is this?
That's a destroyer.
She gets way down there inside the circle as well. She'll have
Yeah.
an easy look at birdie.
Zoe also looking to rip on a destroyer.
Love that smile right before she goes to Crush Town.
Yeah, getting some nice flip on it.
She'll be just outside circle 2. Hopefully we get to see her run at this basket. Oh yeah, nice and floaty, right underneath.
Oh, splits right in between.
Oh,
That's
okay,
fine.
okay, we're good. Jen for 2.
Come on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, love the little slow-mo. Henna also for 2.
She probably has a little bit of the palm tree in her way, but makes easy work of it.
Hyzer putt, no problem. There were only 3 birdies on the day in the FPO field, and ladies and gentlemen, you get to watch all 3 of them. Zoe with the easy par.
Yeah. Feels like a birdie for
Heck
a lot
yeah.
of us.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Jennifer hanging on to second place, Henna just on her coattails. Rebecca skyrocketing up the leaderboard. Looks like we might get to watch her tomorrow in round 3 at Vista del Camino Park.
Yeah, I got to play with her yesterday. She was just tearing up this back 9. Just keeping it super clean. Hole 16 is a par 3, 327 feet. A pretty comfortable hyzer, full power hyzer shot for a lot of us. There is a Mando that we just flew by on the left side that you have to go right of. But yeah, again, just a nice comfortable hyzer shot. I think we'll see some fairway drivers and some drivers from these ladies.
It's nice that they put a couple comfortable holes right before hole 18 because it is a very scary hole. So it's nice that we get to kind of just dummy down our game a little bit, give ourselves some mental reset, look at some birdies.
Paige crushing on a Raptor, goes a little long. She'll find herself in between circle 1 and circle 2.
Jen going to the sky.
Yep, with a destroyer.
Where she feels comfortable. And parks it.
Ooh, and a bonus roll. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Henna going rock X3. So that's a mid-range. And
Getting some skips still.
worked out great.
About 40% of the field with a birdie on this hole. Surprise, actually, it's not a little higher than that. 327 is well within most FPO range.
Little left on that step putt.
Ooh, yeah.
Nice little nub drop in.
Caca. Nice bird, Zoe. Easy birdie from Henna. This hole's a little bit boring to commentate on.
Right.
Wish we had some juicy filler information for you guys. She'll take her par, move on. We know she wants that birdie. She's hungry for them.
Yeah, especially with, Henna and Jen close behind.
Jenna takes a tap in birdie, no problem. It moves to hole 17. It's 468 feet. It is way downhill, and it is way down there. The fountain in the background with some beautiful views. Other than that, there's really nothing to look at. No issues you can get into here. No out of bounds. You're just trying to crush a distance shot off the tee and deal with whatever you have after that. Thankfully, these puddles have dried up a little bit by round 2, but there are still some muddy areas around the basket that could make your footing a little funny for your putt. But other than that, no real issues here.
We see full power destroyer shot from Jen.
She'll be inside, just outside the circle?
Looks like it. It's hard to tell from here. A favorite disc among these ladies, another destroyer from Henna.
Henna throws a low linear line and still gets all the way down
Yeah.
there. You'll see most people throwing like a higher distance shot to get there, and she just pumps one downhill, lets the hill do some of the work for her.
Zoe also going destroyer a little wider. She's right on that little hill. She'll have an easy approach shot to the basket. You could see the flags, the fountains going off. The wind really wasn't up, and you can see that it definitely creates some wind for these ladies. So they're going to be dealing with a little bit of a headwind.
Boom. Paige working the height of the disc as well as the full flight characteristics. And she gets down there under the basket. Wow.
Wow.
Looks like she's learning these Discraft molds pretty well. Zoe playing to the left side of the basket, which is where you want to be so you don't have to contend with the tree. Jen for 2.
Running at it. Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
She wanted that one.
I think with a combined 8 to 10 inches today, Jen would have erased to like 5 strokes. Yeah. Ooh, misfire from Henna. She laughs out of her hand as it hits dead center on the tree. Zoe for par.
Great cleanup from Zoe.
Super solid, dead center.
Paige getting within 15 feet of the basket off the drive. Just absolutely cashing in.
Only 2 birdies on the day on this hole. Congrats, Paige. And we had another birdie, Erica Weir, with a throw-in from what would you say, 200 feet?
Yeah, we were right behind their card, and it was just like a big roar, and she was over by that hill, actually, where Zoe's approach was, and just sort of
ran
one in there.
Yeah, ran it all the way in. She ran the whole way. It was also her birthday, so happy birthday, Erica. Congrats on your throw-in. And moving on to hole 18, another daunting water hole, just like hole 1. It's a par 3. It's 400 feet. It is way down there. There's a safe play where you can pitch up to where those coots, little birds, are by that tree, and then pitch up to the basket. But I think we're going to see a lot of these lead card ladies gunning for the pin.
Yeah. The fountain was still going off at this point, so there was quite a bit of a tail left to right for them, which could be really actually a nice wind for this shot if you're going for it.
Wow, the wind is whipping.
Yeah.
It really picked up there at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. I think it goes off for about 15 minutes straight. So, yeah, by the time they were done with the last hole, it was still going off. And it'll continue to go off for everybody's tee shot.
I didn't realize how much it affected hole 18. I mean, the wind is so strong. We had almost no wind most of the round.
Right. I almost felt like it was getting a little bit colder and cloudier and maybe just even naturally a little more windy, too.
Checks up a little hard, almost pin high. She'll be inside the circle still. Jen going a lot safer, hoping to play the skip. She'll be outside circle 2.
This is one of the fairways that's actually a little bit more grippy when it comes to the grass. Mm-hmm. It depends what angle you come in on, but you could see it slowed Jen's disc down a lot.
You know, she's putting a lot of spin on it. Henna does not get over on it as much as she wants. She skips off that gunite and she'll be well into the water. But still with a look at a possible circle 3 save. Mm-hmm. Zoe going super safe. That's the play you'll see a lot of people in FPO doing. Makes the most sense. No real reason to gun for the basket when we're not going to get to 400 feet.
Right. Nice putter chip shot from Zoe. She'll have a tap and bird. Or par, sorry. Kind of feels like a birdie.
Jen laying up, no prob. She's happy with her round. I'm sure she just wants to finish off nice and polished.
I love how the little ducks are just sort of waddling around.
Yeah, they really are. They're everywhere all the time. And I'm really focusing on this putt. A couple inches low, a little left.
Quite a bit uphill. Again, they were still dealing with that tailwind, so pushes the putters down, especially when you're trying to putt uphill.
Same problem with Paige. Mega bummer to end with a bogey, but still a super strong showing from both of those ladies. No birdies on the day on this hole. I think you would have seen them on this card if you were going to see them. Zoe taps in her par. Jen will do the same. Only 3 strokes behind Paige. After this final hole. We still have 2 rounds at Vista del Camino, and there are a bunch of birdies out there too, also a bunch of water holes. So it's going to be a similar feel as Fountain Hills. We got hugs on the FPO card. Everyone's psyched. Paige still holds on to her lead at 15 under par. Really amazing showing from her the past 2 days with her new Discraft bag. And tomorrow it looks like we're going to get to watch Paige Pierce, Jennifer Allen, Henna Blomroos, and Rebecca Cox, who came screaming in from 2nd or 3rd card.
Yeah, 3rd card.
Thanks again to GK Pro and Discraft for this awesome FPO coverage. Thanks to the Disc Golf Pro Tour for believing in women's coverage as well. I'm Madison Walker.
I'm Missy Gannon.
And you guys come hang out with us again for round 3 at Vista del Camino. We are looking forward to it.
Yeah, and please feel free to leave any feedback in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think. Love to hear if you'd like to see anything different or hear anything different.